Good afternoon, Memorial Soccer fans. This is an audio test.
itself in a manner where the game is enjoyable for all fans and participants with due respect to our fine officials this afternoon. The WIA, the Big Rivers Conference and Eau Claire Memorial reminds you to display good sportsmanship on the field and in the stands. Please be reminded that state laws prohibit the use of tobacco products in any area used by public schools, and we also request the help of parents in monitoring the movement of their younger children at today's contest. Let's get the starting lineup started here. First, for the visiting Hudson Raiders, a senior goaltender wearing number 0, Hannah Tenhar. A midfielder, senior number 2, Maggie Salama. A senior forward wearing number 3, Ava Brown. At defense, a junior number 5, Chloe Gregerson. A captain, senior defenseman number 7, Maggie McConnell. Also a captain and senior defenseman number 9, Barbara Holter. A senior forward number 11, Zanicki. A senior forward who wears number 15, Lindsay Farrar. Wearing number 19, senior defenseman Tavana Tillman. Junior midfielder, number 21, Lily Rowe. And running out, the Hudson lineup, starting lineup, junior midfielder, number 22, Natalie Ranson. And now, for the starting lineup, for Old Claire Old Abes. Wearing the captain C, senior goaltender, number 0, Ashley Schroeder. Junior midfielder number 1, Lydia Porter. A freshman forward number 3, Nora Cunning. The captain for the Old Age, senior defenseman number 4, Sadie Burkey. Junior forward number 5 for the Old Abes, Marley Ferguson. Wearing number 8, a senior midfielder, Kay Rivers. Senior midfielder number 15, Charlotte Williams. Captain number 14, senior defenseman, Allie Lillard. Sophomore midfielder wearing number 17, Elise Tubbs. Final captain for the Old Abes, senior defenseman number 18, Ellie Hudson. And rounding out the defense for the Old Abes, senior defenseman number 20, O'Toole. The head coach of the visiting Hudson Raiders is Aaron Gehring. And head coach of your Old Abes, Olivia
Good evening, Memorial soccer fans, and welcome to Memorial Stadium. I'm Charles Strayer, and on behalf of Old Abes TV, where it's always a great day to be an Old Abe, I'd like to welcome you here to the sectional semifinal match between the Hudson Raiders and your Eau Claire Memorial Old Abes. And don't worry, it's not just deja vu, it is rainy and miserable once again, and the Raiders and the Old Abes are meeting for their third time this season. The Old Abes coming away with both wins, 3-0 at Hudson, 2-1 here at Memorial Stadium in the regular season, and now we'll play them in the postseason for a chance to advance to the sectional final round at DC Everest Middle School coming up later in the week. A high-stakes matchup and a rivalry matchup at that. It's a Big Rivers rivalry matchup in one of the highest of places. And it'll be interesting, the Old Abes trying to maintain a couple of streaks here. They have not lost at home so far this season and have not lost at Memorial Stadium yet. The Raiders looking to try and close out their matchups with the Old Abes with a win here tonight. The Raiders pitching a pair of postseason shutouts to get themselves to this sectional semifinal round will face off against an Old Abe's team who has won 14 straight, and they've scored 52 goals over those last 14. So two very high caliber players coming into this one. Just about the best matchup you could ask for here to round out the Old Abe's inaugural tenure here at Memorial Stadium. The Raiders and the Old Abes, a rivalry renewed here tonight. Raiders backed up now. Kling picking some pockets on the near side, and now she's got some space to start off inside the penalty box, leading over to Ferguson, just undershoots her. And a nice play there. Couldn't quite execute on the last pass, but a good look nonetheless, and the Abes are coming out swinging. That's something that we're definitely used to here at Memorial Stadium. They like to start off aggressively, and it definitely wears down on a lot of opponents. You saw it against DC Everest. They had a pretty good fight in them, but ended up falling by multiple scores due to the Old Abes' second half performance, which left them completely by surprise and resulted in the Old Abes' triumph. Raiders now trying to push up the near side, able to complete the pass. A nice pass there to Ramthen. And Toole able to get in there, a nice tackle. And Ramthen nearly getting free, but Toole once again doing a nice job to secure the wing. Free kick for the Old Abes. It out to midfield. It's Thomas. And a nice tackle there as Holter is able to jostle it away. This one intended for the far side. Bernicke intercepts it. Nice deflection will give an opportunity to take a strike at the keeper. That one going away far of the near side post. And Schroeder not having to get her hands dirty for that one. The Raiders doing a nice job to respond to a flurry of Old Abe's attacks there in the opening minute. Now 2 minutes on the clock, both teams feeling out the territory at a 0-0 match. Deep shot intended for Salama. Salama unable to beat Levick there on the near side. She'll nudge that one out of bounds. Schroeder will have her way with it, and once again the Raiders, they definitely are used to this senior defensive four. but being able to beat them is going to be another thing entirely. In the last two matchups, the Old Abes have done an excellent job to keep the Raiders' attack in check, and the Raiders, winning 4-0 and 2-0 here in their last postseason appearances, have been doing a nice job on the offensive side of things. Looking to get a cross over the middle. A nice look over there. That one will be dished out to the far side and nobody home. Ramthan trying to push it to the far side of the penalty box and will be unable to find anybody. Schroeder with a chance to boot this one. Low kick will be headed back over. Now in the direction of Thomas, that one sneaking out of bounds. Before she can get to it, it'll be a throw-in for the Raiders on the near side. Solomon contested nicely by Roberts. That'll be a throw-in for the Raiders. And a nice find there. Ramthan now opposite Toole, and Toole trying to chip it away, but that'll go out of bounds on her touch. And a nice contest there once again. The Raiders keeping things buttoned down. The Abes haven't been able to get it clear of their own territory in the last few minutes, and now the Raiders getting themselves in excellent field position to make something happen. Salama from the near side. One headed up by Ramthan, directed over or inside the penalty box. And a fight for it just on the outskirts here as Hudson able to back down on Renesinski nicely. And now Kling trying to turn the corner, but she will be floored in the process as she tries to get towards that far side. It'll set up a free kick here for the Old Abes. Now a valuable opportunity as the Raiders have been keeping the Abes on the defensive side of things. Not something that the Abes are used to dealing with here. Typically, they are the aggressors. Now Palmier with a nice chance inside, and that one will be offsides. Deflected by Ken Hammer nonetheless, and a nice defensive play there as the Abes try to push upward prematurely. And that's the sort of look you want there, but Palmier just offsides. And that'll flip the field as Hudson try to get it clear. It'll be deflected. Schroeder comes up to meet it. She'll be the first to it on the outskirts of the penalty box. 5 minutes in, neither team on the board as of yet. This one directed out of bounds will be a throw-in on the far side for the Old Abes, and the Raiders not eager to let this one get past midfield. The Old Abes having a hard time tempering that offensive attack. No proper shots yet, but the Raiders are ensuring that it's only going to be a matter of time unless the Abes can make some early adjustments. Out in the direction of Palmier. And a nice physical contest there, able to sneak it away, and now Kling has it past the logo. And trying to lead Ferguson on the far side. That one just a little too far. Ken Hammer beats her to it. Skyball lands at the 40, and that one will go past Willems. Nice recovery. Bernicke sends it over in the direction of Palmier, and with the headers, the Raiders have been doing a nice job keeping the possession in their control in the early goings. Track down a boot to the center. Inside the hashes, Ramthan making a case for it, but Bernicke able to get it out of harm's way in nice fashion. They'll send it out past midfield. At the logo is Kling. That one poked free, and a contest sends Roberts spiraling. And that one led out, and just outside the penalty box, Ken Hammer gets it out of the way.
No subs as of yet.
Both teams feeling out the terrain, and though neither have gotten on the board, the Raiders are definitely kicking things into high gear. It's similar to the start we saw the last time they faced off the Old Abes again here at Memorial Stadium. They were able to get the lead there with a nice corner on the far side. However, their fortunes shifted as the Old Abes were able to come back from a 1-0 deficit out of the half and come away with the 2-1 victory. This time the Old Abes trying to settle the score properly in the early stages. The far side, that one pushed wide of Thomas. Salama cannot recover, and as such, it'll be a near side throw-in for Palmier. Towards the center, Kling making a contest for it. That one poked free, and now Palmier taking over, nudges that out to Ferguson on the far side. Willems teeing up, teeing off, and that one bounces over to Ken Hammer. Sets up another clear for the Raiders as they've been defensively sound. 8 minutes in, 0-0 on the scoreboard. That one chipped over in the direction of Ramthan. Hudson gets to it first, redirects it over to Willems in between the hashes. Now Levick will take it, getting that one out in the direction of Kling. Kling turning the corner, and that one knocked free. She will recover it. Sending it over, does not get past Ken Hammer. Ken Hammer deflecting it, and that one out of harm's way as defensively chaotic, but the Raiders able to get the job done. Not out of the woods yet as Palmier tries to get it in on the near side. That one deflected nicely by the defense and sent away. A nice sequence there for the Raiders. Chaotic in the intermediate stages, but they're able to get the job done, and the Abes will be sent away scoreless on that sequence. Out to the center, Roberts trying to get it in the direction of Kling, cannot do so. It'll be sent out near midfield as the Raiders try to get some ground back. Roberts sending it over to the far side. Giving chase is Ferguson and Ken Hammer right there. Hannah Ken Hammer doing a nice job to stay disciplined and not let anything develop here inside of the penalty box. So far, the Old Abes have made several attempts to get one on the run, but Ken Hammer has been all over it. Levick chasing that one down, lets it go out of bounds. Will be a throw-in for her and the Abes on the near side. Levick sending it over. Roberts doing a nice job for the redirection and tackle there. Relou doing a nice job to secure the tackle. Sent out past midfield. And a throw in for the Raiders. It'll be Holter all over it. Substitutions coming in for both teams. 10 minutes in, 0-0 on the scoreboard as the Old Abes and the Raiders tee off for their third matchup of the season. Pass over to Ramthan. Sent away, jostle around in between the hashes. Roberts pushing it over towards Palmier. And the Raiders not giving him anything easy in the midfield. Sent on the run, and Levick securing the wing on the near side, but tackled away, and a nice deflection there. Getting it out of immediate danger, and a nice recovery there by the newly subbed in Mateo Langenol. Langenol getting the better of Levick, something we don't see often, particularly on that wing. Levick able to outspeed many an offensive personnel here at Memorial Stadium this season. Sets up a corner kick on the near side for the Raiders. That's Ava Brown to do the honors. Oh, pardon me. McConnell, that one sent over, and a nice header there. Send it out of harm's way. That was Avery Bradle on the deflection for the Abes defense. McConnell with a nice corner. That one just far. Pass directed for McConnell. And on the near side, it'll be Palmier with the throw-in. I want to give him a little more breathing room as Bast knocks it out of bounds. 12 minutes in, 0-0 as that pass intended for Roberts. Corralled there, and Levick trying to get free on the near side. Toutant now Gets Holter on the chin as both teams try to get out of the midfield. It's been a battle in the trenches so far, dribbling paramount in securing supremacy, and neither team has been able to get the upper hand so far. Definitely the sort of start you wanted to see out of a great matchup like this one. It had the potential to be great, and so far these girls are giving it their all. Neither team able to get any sort of advantage as of now. From the near side, Rampton overshot by that pass. Schroeder scoops that one up, chance to clear it away. That one will get pushed out past midfield. Kling tangled up with Holter. Won't be able to secure it. It'll be a throw in for the Raiders. Levick in control, opts to send that back to the keeper. That clear short. And now the Raiders with an opportunity outside the penalty box. And that is an opportunity squandered right there. The Raiders sent away on an offsides call. And a pair of them for each so far. Schroeder with a chance to send this one clear. Just under 14 minutes in, neither team on the scoreboard as of right now. Holter pushes it out to the far side. Bernicke beats it to the punch, and Brown with a nice contest. It'll stay with the Raiders. Throw in, redirected out of bounds, and that one off the Raiders. This game definitely developing into something of a war of attrition. Both teams doing some work to get possession in the midfield range, but so far haven't been able to make more than a few aggressive pushes so far. Trying to sneak it up the far side over in between the hashes, and that one, nice pass from Toole over to Toutant. Levick taking over on the near side, out in the direction of Kling. Nice job to redirect, but cannot secure it. It'll be out of bounds on her touch on the near side. It'll be a throw in for the Raiders. Hudson doing a nice job so far not to give up anything big. We've seen the Old Abe score in transition and off of open nets many a time here at Memorial Stadium. Even against the Raiders, they've been able to get the upper hand by utilizing superior speed on the wing. But the Raiders doing a nice job to stay disciplined and not let them get anything going. Clear out to the center. Cannot be corralled by Roberts. They'll send this one deep. Rampton trying to chase it down. Nice contest there. That one will go to the Old Abes as Levick doing a nice job to interfere. Levick rifles the throw in. That'll be redirected by the Raiders. Toole chips it out of bounds. The Raiders gaining ground here. They haven't been able to put a proper shot up yet, but have had the makings of some nice ones. That recent offsides call mitigating what could have been a quite effective attack from them. We'll see what they have in store as a sub will come in for Hudson. Gregerson tries to push to the far side. It'll be redirected, sent back over to Avery Bradle. Bradle bottled up by the double team. Now trying to get around to the near side. A foot race now. And Schroeder will beat both Levick and Langenol to it. Toutant trying to get out over to Gunderson. Cannot do so. And setting up a throw in here on the near side for Levick and the Old Abes. 17 minutes in, the Old Abes and the Raiders tied up 0-0. Kling floored after a physical contest there. The Raiders trying to make something of it. Past midfield, Thomas swooping in and a nice tackle by her. Out to the far side now, the Raiders trying to push it up. McConnell now with some space on the far side. Nice to sneak it out, and that one will be called. That'll set up a free kick here. Offsides call number 2 on the Raiders. Over to the far side and a nice deflection off of these free kicks. The Raiders haven't let the Old Abes get any sort of advantage off of them so far. They've been doing a nice job getting that first touch. Substitutions coming in as the Raiders take the throw in on the far side. Willems bottled up, trying to escape. Able to sneak that one out, but the Raiders will take over. Pass behind the intended target. And now that one, they'll determine out of bounds, and the Raiders will take over as it finally sneaks out. Tillman's pass to the far side, redirected out of bounds. That one sent skyward. It'll stay with the Old Abes as they try to push up past midfield. And a defensive showcase so far, as the stars of the show have definitely been those back lines of defense. Any attempted foray into enemy territory has been thwarted so far by both parties. Now gaining back some ground, it'll be Bernanke for the throw-in. Tillman redirects that one out of bounds, and the Abes will push up further. Good opportunity in the making here, trying to get it inside the penalty box to Kling. That one in control of the Raiders, swooping in. Ferguson now sending it over to the center. Kendhammer deflects it. And a nice play from her gets it out of immediate danger. Roberts sends that one skyward, and it'll go harmless out of bounds on the far side. And another nice defensive sequence from Kendhammer and the Raiders' line of defense. A good setup, but Kendhammer making a nice read on the ball there. Got a chance to clear this one. Out to the near side, pushed up to Longenall. And that one will be out of bounds. Levick. Throw in here on the near side. 20 minutes in, the Old Abes and the Raiders knotted up zeros. That one sneaking free, and now Thomas with a bit of room to operate on the near side, pushing it over to the center. That one deflected nicely by McConnell. Pass intended for Kling. Tillman intercepts the pass intended for Ferguson, pushing that one out to the far side. Ellie Hudson getting to it first. One sent to the center. Schroeder, no difficulty with that one, with an opportunity to send it away. Short clear, bounces out to the 40. And over to the middle, nothing going there. As now Kling turns the corner on the far side, trying to get it over in the direction of Ferguson. She will overshoot. Kendhammer coming up to meet that one. Longenall and Levick once again jostling for position. Levick with a nice box out there secures the throw-in on the near side. Thomas trying to push up on the near side once again. Had a nice look to start with. That one will be pushed out of bounds. Substitutions coming in for the Raiders. Just a single shot from either of these two teams here tonight. It's definitely been a defensive-minded affair so far, over halfway through the first half, and nothing on the board. Out in Ramthen's direction, Bernicke doing a nice job to send that one out of bounds. Raider throw in on the far side. Since pass over to Tillman. And redirected over to the far side. That one sent high, and Bernicke now chipping it over in the direction of Nora Kling. That one, then striking distance of Thomas. She gets it free. Kenhammer sprinting back to the goal outside the penalty box. They will recover, and a nice recovery at that, but the Abes in good position here. Trying to get it free outside the penalty box. Willems now fighting for it. Out to the far side, clear of immediate danger. And once again, the Raiders defense doing a nice job, but they're not out of the woods yet. Ferguson with a little bit of space, crossing it over past Kenhammer. And Kling trying to get it in on the near side, but it'll go far of the post. The Abes with a nice sequence. They're able to best Kenhammer, but cannot make it go on the final attempt. Ball will sail harmless. And the Raiders breathe a collective sigh of relief on that one. 24 minutes in, and the Raiders ensure it stays 0-0 for the time being. Ferguson now trying a high shot off the crossbar. It'll be redirected, and the Abes offense starting to heat up here. Thomas sending it over to the middle in the direction of Willems. Nice redirection there will give the Raiders control. Sent over Levick, redirecting it over to the far side. Sprinting for it is Ferguson, able to secure it before it goes out of bounds. Now Willems with a choice of it, pushing it deep over to Kling. Kenhammer bottles that one up. And another opportunity stopped in its tracks by Kenhammer. And a couple of action-packed sequences for the Abes offense. Nothing able to come to true fruition, but we've seen it wear on many an opponent here at Memorial Stadium, Hudson included, to have a persistent attack. So hopefully a sign of things to come as the Abes finally get some consistency on the offensive side of the field. Hudson with control of that one, sends it over to Schroeder, who gives it the boot out to midfield. That one high, Holter. A good redirection out to the far side. Thomas swooping in inside the hashes, takes her pick. She'll go over to Ferguson. Ferguson trying to beat it in a nice deflection there. McConnell pushing it out of bounds and giving the defense time to recover. Will be a throw-in for the Old Abes, who have good field position, but have once again had another scheme thwarted. Tillman getting that one out in the direction of Ramthen. That one sent high by Hudson and stays fair. Trying to get free is Ferguson. Ferguson from the far side. A nice contest there by Salama. Throwing out over to Roberts inside the hashes, trying to get free now and able to secure it on the near side. Is Longinal trying to push it over to Ramthen, but cannot connect. And the Raiders with the makings of a nice sequence there, but unable to get the better of the Old Abe's defensive four. 26 minutes in, neither team on the scoreboard. Thrown secured on the near side. And it's over, and a nice deflection there. Bernicke able to push it out to the near side of midfield. And now Toole, a nice left-footed kick, able to get it out to Kling. And that one sent over. It'll stay with the Abes as they throw it in on the near side. Substitutions coming in for Memorial. Levick has Thomas back out to Levick, who leads Kling. Palmier takes it inside the penalty box, now pushing it over to Ferguson. Ferguson cannot put up the shot. Kenhammer deflecting it out of harm's way. Touton puts up the high shot, and that one just too high. A nice idea there as Kenhammer was out of position, pushed up past the goalie box, but cannot make good on it. And once again, the Raiders are able to hold defensively. 28 minutes in as Kenhammer will clear it out to the far side. Touton over in the direction of Kling. Ferguson sprinting to meet it, crossing over high, and will overshoot Thomas on the near side. That one will go out of bounds harmless. The Abes definitely resting some control here on the offensive side of things, but so far have not been able to get it into the net. Several good looks have been delayed by a very pronounced stance by the keeper and the defensive four, who've been doing a nice job not to let him get anything going in transition. Longinol sprinting off to the races, but Hudson Ellie Hudson that is, doing a nice job to mitigate the threat, trying to keep it in possession. That one will be out of bounds. A throw in now, and that one just short. Kling might have had an opportunity to have a chase down of her own. Ball up in the air, and Kling now trying to get position, able to shake her first defender, crossing over in the direction of Ferguson, but Kenhammer gets to it first. And once again, an excellent effort by the Old Abe's offense, deterred effectively by a hardened Raiders defense. Now the Raiders trying to respond in kind. Longinol cannot get it going there from the near side. Unable to corral it, and Levick sends it over to Thomas. Longinol will have it deflected back in the direction of Palmier, and the whistle will blow there on a chaotic sequence for both parties involved. 30 minutes in, and that will result in a free kick for Eau Claire Memorial. Some push and pull here. The Old Abes, with a couple of pronounced offensive attacks, have tried to get control of the ball movement here, but the Raiders defense giving their offensive lines ample opportunity to get a counterattack going. That one thwarted effectively. Rampton outpaced by Levick on the near side once again. Levick takes that one back over. Same with the Raiders as they'll take it on a throw-in on the near side, well inside Old Abe's territory adjacent to the penalty box.
Two players for each team. First, Hudson makes Kelson Rotary. Old Abe, Michael Gunderson. Palmier.
Sequence might be a true test for the Old Abe's defense here, as trying to chip it in on the far side. That one will sail harmless shy of the far side post. Schroeder pushing it clear. That one redirected over to the far side. And the Raiders reluctant to let the Abes get anything going across their side of midfield, but that one getting past Tillman and now out in the direction of Ken Hammer, who will secure it, get it out to the center of the field, and avoid danger. Salama pushing it out to the near side, and now with a bit of space, Toole trying to chase her down. Schroeder deflecting it, not back in the goal yet, deflects it again. And that one pushed over Salama, and Schroeder bats it down and finally secures it. Ashlyn Schroeder shows why she is a captain right there, flexing her seniority with a nice defensive sequence. The Old Abes giving the Raiders ample opportunity to strike, but some heroics from Schroeder will ensure that the Donuts stay on the board for just a little longer. 33 minutes in and some impressive defensive showcasing, resulting in a 0-0 affair between the Raiders and the Old Abes. With a chance here is Gunderson, and that one just sneaks out of bounds before she can get to it, sets up a throw-in for the Raiders. The Abes on the cusp of some nice ball movement on the near side off of the throw-ins many a time, but have not been able to connect that initial pass and properly lead the receiver. It's been causing them some issues here in the offensive side of things in the early goings of this match. Hudson contesting it on the far side. That one pushed up, and Schroeder able to get on top of it after an initial bobble. And the effects of the conditions definitely apparent here. Neither clear, getting as far from either keeper so far. It'll be important on those near sequences to stay disciplined and keep focus on the ball. Trying to push it out in between the hashes in the direction of Gunderson. It'll be sent over to Salama. Nudged out of bounds by Levick. Throw in for the Raiders on the near side. Substitutions coming in, and only about 5 minutes to work with here at the end of this first half. Plenty of time for one of these teams to make a statement drive and knock one into the net, and as a defensive game as this has been, one goal might be all either team needs to secure the victory. The Raiders trying to capitalize on another chance inside Old Abe's territory. A sky ball from Tillman, basket caught by Schroeder. Schroeder with a nice clear, well past midfield. Palmier secures it. She's got her choice on the near side. Trying to nudge it over to Bradle. Cannot do so. Toutant trying to get it over to Bradle. Bradle sprinting for it. It'll stay fair. She'll be able to get to it. Get some space away from her defender. Back over to Toutant. Corner of the penalty box. Trying to get it inside over in the direction of Kling. Cannot connect. And the Old Abe's still in good position, but their initial barrage has been sent packing once again. More substitutions coming in for the Old Abes. 36 minutes on the clock, 0-0. From the far side, Kling crossing it over. That one overshooting. That was Gunderson, the intended target. Once again, the Old Abes getting themselves in a nice position, but unable to capitalize on the looks that the Raiders are giving them passing-wise. Several of the passes just simply getting out in front of the recipient a little too far to effectively recover. Especially as fatigue sets in and the conditions do their work on the field. It's going to be interesting to see how either team adapts coming out of the break, especially if the deadlock cannot be broken before the whistle. Levick sending it over in the direction of Kling. Kling able to get control. Just on the outskirts of the penalty box now, looking dangerous, crossing over. Can't quite connect. Thomas on the second effort will be deflected back outside the box. And the Raiders hold firm once again, but the Old Abes still in striking distance. Thomas trying to get control. That one will be sent away. High, and a nice deflection by Toole to get it back in the Old Abes' hands. Bradle keeps it fair on the far side, crossing over in the direction of Kling. Header will just evade the near side post, and once again Kling just a few feet away from giving the Abes the lead. Another good look inside the box. Just 2 minutes for either team to operate, with 0-0 on the board here in the sectional semifinal between BRC rivals. And you couldn't have really asked for better here on a rainy day. A defensive war of attrition, characteristic of the soccer we know and love. With control of it on the far side, Hudson, Ellie Hudson that is, taps it over on the far side. Tillman sending it over in between the hashes. Nice header by Toole. Second header will go back to the Raiders. Shot over in the center of the field. Salama. Not much time to put up a proper shot. That one will sail far of the near side post. 39 minutes on the clock. Just a solitary minute here for either team to get one on the board.
1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute.
First down.
30 seconds to work with. Levick getting it over to Gunderson, and a nice redeflection there. The Raiders retain possession. Holter with the throw-in, directed out of bounds by Levick, adjacent to the penalty box. 15 seconds to work with the Raiders, in position to do some damage here. Levick sending it out of bounds. Ices a couple seconds off the clock there, and cannot get a proper shot off to finish the half, and the Donuts will stay for now. The first half of the sectional semifinal, a war of attrition culminating in a 0-0 dead heat tie. The Raiders and the Old Abes making their third appearance of the season a special one, as neither team has gotten the upper hand so far. A defensive battle and a whole half to go. Stick around, because we'll be back in just a few minutes with the second half of the sectional semifinal here on Old Abes TV, where it's always a great day to be an Old Abe. Welcome to the second half. The Raiders and the Old Abes scoreless here in the sectional semifinal. A BRC rivalry renewed and in the most entertaining way possible here on a rainy, Thursday? And the Old Abes looking to secure a third consecutive victory over their BRC rival. Oh, this ain't gonna work. Deep shot in between the marks. This one high, and Schroeder making the grab. Ashlyn Schroeder had an excellent sequence defensively in the latter half of that first half. Doing a nice job so far, has been utilized sparingly, but able to secure 4 saves when she has been needed. Palmier now trying to turn the corner. She will be floored in the process. And that'll set up a free kick deep in Raiders territory. A good opportunity here, something that might be able to tip the scales in the favor of Memorial. Toole on the kick from the far side, sending it up, and whistle blows it dead as Ken Hammer makes the stop. Some motion will result in a re-kick. Toole's first just overshooting Nora Kling. The second one, she'll opt to go over to Levick, crossing over defenders inside the hashes. She'll push it out to Thomas, and the Abes will reset the offense, trying to get on the move here. Palmier pushing it back out to Toole. Holter with a nice find. They're able to push it up past midfield for the Raiders, and on the far side, that one will sail out of bounds. Out on the logo, trying to lead Ava Brown. Bernicke in a foot race with her inside the penalty box, and Bernicke beats her to the punch. A nice job by Sadie Bernicke, ever the reliable defender, something of an unsung hero here on this Abe's squad, but invaluable nonetheless. She has been absolutely instrumental in the Abe's defensive prowess over the course of this 2025 season. Cross attempt sent skyward. Nice deflection there by Willems on the near side, setting up another throw-in for the Raiders. Cross sent with a high header, and Schroeder in traffic, able to make the grab. Nice wherewithal there by Ashlyn Schroeder, and on the far side, the Abes trying to get some room here. Kling outpacing her first defender, foraying in, makes the crossover to Palmier. Palmier misses the shot attempt. Ferguson now up, and away. And that one will sail high of the crossbar. Exactly the sort of look you wanted, but the Abes unfortunately cannot execute. Palmier and Ferguson both had a shot at it. And a nice push there. Definitely time to replicate that here, as only 4 minutes off the clock here in this second half. Roberts boots it high. It'll be out of bounds. Brown will get it to Tillman on the throw-in. Trying to poke out Rampton on the near side.
It's not connected. Yeah. That's correct. It should be a solid blue. Is it a solid
Once again, trying to push it to the near side. The Old Abe's defensive four doing a nice job there. Thomas legs it out, tries to get it to Kling, leads her too far inside, and the Raiders all over that one. Nice crossover to Rampton. And poking it free, Rampton has a chance at it again. Ellie Hudson swooping forward, and Schroeder standing stalwart. All she has to do is make the catch. Schroeder with some nice positioning there, and Ellie Hudson, once again, we've seen her over the course of this season at Memorial Stadium doing an excellent job of just deterring the center attack for the opposition. Ellie Hudson has done an excellent job when it comes to just not letting them get the edge, securing the wing, and forcing them to make an errant attempt on the goal. Short boot will land foul just shy of midfield. The Abes with the throw-in on the far side. Pushing up and in the direction of the far side. Nobody home, and Levick will send this one clear. "45 minutes in, neither team on the board as of right now." Hudson getting it over in the direction of Kling on the far side. And a long boot from Ferguson. Kling off to the races, trying to outrun it. Ken Hammer coming up to meet it. And that one gets free. Shot on the goal. Sneaks in! Goal! Nora Kling outrunning Ken Hammer. Sneaking it in off of the near side post. And the first score of the night goes to your Old Abes. What a play. Ferguson setting up Nora Kling beautifully for yet another chase down on the wing. Nora Kling is going places, folks, and this freshman debut here as an Old Abe has been nothing short of spectacular. What could be a pivotal point here in momentum as the Raiders now facing off against a deficit in a game where they have been able to get precious little done on the offensive side of things, only mustering up 5 shots as of right now, 3 of which coming in one sequence.
With a long sprint down the sidelines, goal going to number 3 for the Old Abes, Nora Kling. The 5 feet shot for the assist by number 5 for the Old Abes, Ferguson.
And the Raiders with a chance to respond here. They've got a corner kick coming from the far side. Their only score on the Old Abes this season was off of this very same corner. A beautiful header complementing a great pass from the corner to give them a temporary lead in their second showdown with the Old Abes. The Raiders trying to get some quick vengeance here. Will opt to take it out of the far side corner. High shot will be clear of danger as it goes high away from the crossbar.
That was a fun goal to watch. That's right. She gained 30 yards. Well, 25.
Clear cannot be corralled by Willems. And on the near side, the Raiders trying to press an advantage here. High one, located, tracked, caught by Schroeder. Chalk it up to save number 6 on the night. High one in the direction of Kling once again. This one not able to find purchase. Past midfield, Ferguson. A nice tackle there. It'll go back over to the Raiders, and now on the run. Hudson trying to get to it, and now Rampton with a chance at a shot. Schroeder coming up for it. And Schroeder with a nice deflection, able to get it out to the near side, pushing it far. And now the Raiders still with nice field position, but now unable to sneak it in, and with a chance to clear it, Ashlyn Schroeder with a potential game-saving sequence there. An excellent job by the senior. Low clear will go right back to her. Inside the hashes now, another chase down. Rampton trying to get to it on the outskirts of the penalty box. Now that one sent high and away on the far side. Bounces fair. Levick trying to turn the corner and get that one free. Boots it out of harm's way and allows the defense a bit of a respite there. Raiders once again cannot capitalize. Schroeder here to give it the boot. Deflection will be off on the Raiders' touch as the Old Abes move to flip the field here. .50 in and the Old Abes with a 1-0 lead over the Raiders. They'll take the throw in from the far side of midfield. Ferguson now trying to push up from the far side, getting free of the first set of defenders. Trying to track it down inside the penalty box now, crossing over in the direction of Palmier. That one deflected nicely back outside the penalty box. Now the Raiders with control of it. And they'll give it to Ken Hammer to send it away. Off of the throw-in now, Roberts trying to secure it on the near side, pushes it out towards Thomas, who's unable to get there. Tillman doing a nice job to string her out on the near side. And they'll rule that one as a throw-in for the Raiders on the near side. The Raiders now under fire once again. The Old Abes with a knack for wearing down their opponents in the early stages of the second half, leading to an easier victory. We'll see if they have the wherewithal and endurance to get them out of this deficit. Pushing it over to Ken Hammer, scoops it up for the save. The rain continuing to pour here, and once again, the conditions are going to become a factor as we enter the latter stages of this match. The Old Abes doing a nice job to give themselves a lead, even if a single point. So that all they need to do is continue to play the game defensively that they have been and hold on to what they've got. Willems getting away. Now Palmier will take it on the logo. Vic sending it over. Now the Old Abes with a bit of room here on the far side. Seldom content to just lead by 1 or 2. And trying to cross over, they cannot do so. Still with good field position, it's Ferguson now from the far side, chipping it over in the direction of Thomas inside the penalty box. Now that one corralled by the Raiders. On the run, Kling can't jostle it free, and they'll push it back up, and a whistle sounds. A bit too physical there, and now the Raiders will escape without another score on the board. Free kick opportunity. Thomas getting free of Tillman, sneaking it out to Palmier. Palmier now looking good just outside the penalty box. Back over to Thomas, and a bit too physical there this time from Ava Brown of the Raiders as Thomas floored from behind. .54 on the clock, and now in good position here as now it'll be Lydia Palmier with an opportunity to foray deep into Raiders territory. Shot is up from the near side, and that one can't quite sneak in as Ken Hammer recovers at the last second, able to bat that one into friendly territory. Now on the near side, the Raiders trying in earnest to respond. They've got to dial up the aggression here as the Old Abes definitely taking control of the latter stages of the first half, and so far not much different here in the early goings of the second as the Old Abes have been able to strike first. the Raiders so far, having put up several shots since the opening minutes, but haven't been able to get a proper look on the goal to put Schroeder in any sort of danger. After the substitution, it'll be a throw-in on the near side. Passing a nice header from Bernicke, send that one out of bounds on a Raiders touch. In the direction Bernicke, narrowing the field a bit, and the Old Abes have some nice field position to work with. Trying to cross over to Toutant, and that one a little short. The Raiders take advantage. From midfield is Bernicke again. And as they try to get it in the direction of Bradel, another physical attempt on the first touch will result in a free kick. Toole with a bit of urgency. That one will be redirected as it's able to find Purchase inside the penalty box, but cannot get a proper shot off of it. Inside the hash is now the Raiders on the move from the far side. That one will be pushed just wide. And they had the Abes back four on the back foot there, but are unable to capitalize. Pushing it to the far side now. Will find its way over to Avery Bradel, who's got Thomas. Short pass will be read by Thomas inside the penalty box. Puts up the shot high, and another one off of the crossbar. Once again, foiled by the iron. The Old Abes trying to get back in position. A nice find as Thomas, with nobody near her, able to get in a good shot even as the opponent closed in for the kill. But Thomas's shot just a few inches too high. Able to get past Ken Hammer, but not the post. High bounce, Ken Hammer deflects it. Just outside the penalty box, sent skyward by Toutant. And all Raiders over on the near side, swooping in now. Hudson trying to keep it over inside the box, but cannot. Now Rampton on the run. Toole with a nice response there. Able to put an end to a potential fast break. And a rare missed touch there by Bernicke. The Old Abes looking a little scattered here as they'll be pushed back onto their own side of the field. Fresh legs coming in for the Raiders, and the Old Abes with a chaotic sequence there turn what could have been a spectacular goal into something of a rout. Now the Raiders with some momentum going their way. 58 minutes in, the Old Abes clinging to a one score lead. On the far side now, it'll stay fair, trying to get inside the penalty box. It'll be boxed out nicely. Substitutions coming in for the Old Abes now, as Schroeder has an opportunity to send it clear. Back and forth on the far side, trying to get it inside the hashes, but the Old Abes able to do a nice job, get that out over in the direction of Kling on the near side. She's got Tillman to beat. Tillman with a nice contest, slowing up Kling as she tries to cross over. She's got Freya Tillman for now over in the direction of Bradel, can't connect. And that one sent out of bounds. It'll be a throw-in. The Old Abes still in good position, but a valuable opportunity there, hindered in large part by Nevaeh Tillman of the Tillman, ever the disruptor here, has been mitigating a lot of the Old Abe's damage on the wing. Raiders will push it out past the 30 once again. It'll be Bernicke to throw it in on the near side. Roberts trying to send it over to Kling. That one will be behind her. Out of bounds on her touch. The Raiders push up to about midfield for the throw-in. Longinal's throw-in deflected by Roberts. Now Palmier sneaking to the near side. That's picked off, and now leading Kling. Kling has a chance, and that one will be wide. Just a few feet shy of the far post, and Kling looking a little frustrated out there, and a nice look she got for herself once again on the near side, and Old Abe getting a good open look, but cannot get the shot to go. The Abes will continue with their solitary score lead. 61 minutes in as the Old Abes try and press their one-score advantage over the Raiders. It'll be Tillman for the throw-in. Substitutions coming in for the Raiders, and they'll take it from the near side. Bernicke over to Bradle on the near side. He was trying to get something going, trying to get it over to Gunderson there on the far side, but that pass just short of its target. Now nicely, Ramthan pushing it up, trying for the center, but cannot connect. Bernicke will take that one out on the near side. The near side up for grabs. Roberts coming away with it and will elicit a whistle as Ella Bast tried to swoop in and interfere. It'll result in a free kick for the Old Abes. That one redirected out to the far side. Gunderson over in the direction of Nora Kling now, opposite Ava Brown. Trying to get control. She will have it stay fair. Crossing over, trying to get to Palmier. Swooping in the Raiders' defense. Forcing him back out. Kenhammer blocking it and off of the redeflection. Redirected, deflected, and sent back in. The Old Abes take a 2-0 lead as Piper Gunderson playing cleanup for the Old Abes. And what a sequence there. The Old Abes persistent and aggressive. That's what we love to see out of them here in the second half. You see a resurgence in energy where sometimes, especially amidst all the weather conditions they've had to endure here at home, the opposition merely isn't ready for the sheer energy of the Old Abes. And now, starting to bear down, they have a multiple score lead with less than 20 minutes left here in the sectional semifinal.
That was off a rebound, wasn't it?
And nearly coming free with a third goal opportunity. That one will be sent away prematurely.
Number 22, Piper Gunderson.
Bernicke sending it over to Thomas. A far shot to the far side. And a foot race for it inside the penalty box. Chipped out of bounds there at the last second. It'll set up a corner kick on the far side for the Raiders. And this is an opportunity they can't afford to have go the other way. The Raiders really need this one. Down 2 scores. They might not be able to get another opportunity like this here, the way the Old Abes have been playing on offense, so they've got to use this wisely. A low shot redirected past the penalty box off of the first touch. The Old Abes defense doing a nice job, and Schroeder will corral the second effort. Pass intercepted, trying to get downfield with it, perhaps a little prematurely as they can't get it to Rampton. This time they've got her. Toole coming in relief, sliding, able to redirect it just enough. And what an effort right there. An excellent play from the senior Amy Toole, and Schroeder doesn't even have to get her hands dirty for that one. And that was a full effort play right there, and it might have saved the Old Abes a score. Off a nice defensive sequence, the Old Abes trying to get out of trouble here. Palmier with her way of it, trying to lead Gunderson on the far side. McConnell, the pass from her will stay fair. On the far side, the Old Abes regain control. And clear is sent out of bounds off of the throw, and the Raiders back to work on the far side. High boot. Schroeder, no trouble with that one. And the Old Abes defense getting into a groove and staying there. Apart from the odd, chaotic sequence, they have been a well-oiled machine, as we've seen them plenty of times at home. This defensive front, undeterred by the bright lights or the conditions, they've been playing their game and doing the fundamental things exceedingly well, and that's contributed to the shutout they pitched so far. From the near side, Bernicke leading Thomas. Just outside the penalty box, Tillman with control, sending it over inside the hashes. Palmier back with it, chips it out. Little too far for Gunderson to get to before Ken Hammer. Trying to poach the pass there, and that one will be pushed out to the near side. Bernicke with control. Willems over in the direction of Kling. Inside the penalty box now with the center. That one just far of Thomas, trying to redirect. That one deflected out of the goalie box. And the Abes retain possession, but the Raiders out of immediate danger. Nice job there. Kling's pass just beyond where Thomas needed to be. Willems fighting for it on the near side. The Raiders eventually able to work it free, and now they've got a bit of space to work with. Not so fast. Bernicke coming in out of nowhere on the near side, doing a nice job to deter what could have been the Raiders' most significant opportunity of the night. Brown pushing it over to the center. That one read perfectly by the Abes defense, and they'll come away with another vital stop. Palmier with some room to operate now. Working inside the hashes, pushes it out to the far side. Gonna cross over once again, cannot get it to go. Now with the recovery back over, finds Palmier inside the penalty box, and that one sent skyward, trying to rush that shot in, and will not pay off. The Old Abes keeping the bit between their teeth here. The Raiders have not been able to get the opportunities they need on the other side of the field, because the Old Abes have been keeping them on the back foot ever since they knocked in that second goal. It's very characteristic of what we see in the Old Abe's most dominant victories, and it's coming into effect here as trying to chip it in, and that one's sent high and way away. Willems had it right there, but a hardened defensive front able to deter it just enough. And Ken Hammer able to avoid disaster there. Only 10 minutes to work with here in regular time of the sectional semifinal, and the Old Abes up 2-0. The Raiders desperately needing some offensive production to get this thing back on track. Ferguson nudges that one to the goalie box. No one home. Ken Hammer to recover and send it away.
Make that contact.
One slips past two defenders there. The Old Abe's able to get control at the last second, and now the Raiders on the move on the far side. Toole doing a nice job to disrupt. Takes it on the chin, but none the worse for wear. Substitutions coming in for the Raiders. Coming in on the run inside the penalty box. The Raiders trying to get something going. That one will sail high and off the mark, intended for the far corner. And Schroeder will have her way with this one.
Is that a corner?
Schroeder gives it the boot on the near side. Nice redirection and Bast giving the Raiders another chance here from the far side, trying to cross it over to Brown. Brown will receive back over, and that one cannot make it to Schroeder. It'll be directed out of bounds and give Schroeder the opportunity to send it away. 72 minutes in, the Old Abes 8 minutes away from a multiple score victory over their rival, the Hudson Raiders. Just trying to close this one out in downright miserable conditions. But the Old Abe's playing through the pain here, and it's something they've had to do in several of their home games. This inaugural season at Memorial Stadium has been very rainy. Some of the finest of spring weather, as Schroeder makes an excellent grab there on the near side. And Schroeder has been a wall tonight. Simply impenetrable in the defensive four, doing an excellent job to complement a great performance from the keeper. And a very senior-heavy defensive performance once again has given the Abes a commanding lead here in the critical stages. Bernicke doing a nice job on the near side. Able to clear a path. Getting it over to Thomas. Thomas takes a shove from McConnell. Toutan's got it now. Inside the hashes. Looking for a pass. Get it to an open Ferguson, and that will be offsides. And a good look there, just a few feet out of position. And the Old Abes will be sent away there on the unforced error. As midfield is Toutan. Toutan trying to work it over to Ferguson again. Tillman trying to send it free, but a nice chip from Thomas keeps it in Old Abe's hands. And now Thomas looking dangerous amidst the double team. And a nice tackle there by the joint defensive front. Ferguson now trying to get around Tillman. Trying to get it to the center and Tillman to boot it. The Raiders defense not looking to let any more through. So far, the Abes not letting them get what they really need, and that's another offensive look on Schroeder's net. Time continuing to salt away here, 74 minutes in. Just about 5.5 minutes to work with for the Raiders if they want to erase this deficit. Ferguson getting free on the near side, sending it over. And Ken Hammer will pick it up as Kling couldn't get a proper shot off. And amidst a heavy Raider opposition, the Old Abes can't quite sneak another one in. It's past midfield, and now the Raiders, nearing desperation time, need to get one in the net and soon if they want to keep this one manageable. Trying to lead it out to the center. Bernicke gets to it first, chips it out to the near side, and will stay fair. A nice effort there by Bradel. Clock continues to run, and the Abes continue with control on the near side. Now that one staying fair, and Ferguson able to run it down. A nice effort there, crossing it over just far of Kling inside the penalty box, recovering. And that one from Teuton on the run, very nearly one for the highlight reel, but just shy of the far side post. Another batch of substitutions coming in for both sides as only 4 minutes remain for the Raiders to try and take the victory from the Old Abes. We're looking to close out another shutout victory over the Raiders and secure 3 concurrent victories, all in this 2025 season over them. Corner from the far side. Sent up. That one up for grabs. Ferguson unable to make contact on that one. And now turning the corner, it's Ferguson again. Just shy of the penalty box. Nice job crossing over Brown there. That one high and cannot be redirected towards Ken Hammer.
I swear if Perry's still in here. We're gonna need it.
Deep shot. This one inside the hashes. Sent back to Schroeder, who will take care of that one. Out of immediate danger, and now only about 4 minutes to work with. The Raiders need this one to get going in their favor. And so far, offensive production has been ground to a halt by a formidable Old Abe's attack here on the offensive side of things. On the far side now. Kling looking to make a move. Trying to get free, cannot break the double team. That one's strung out to the far side. The Old Abe's the first to get to it. Clear pushed out to the near side. They'll stay with the Old Abes as another substitution will come in here. Gunderson will replace Ferguson. 77:46 on the clock. The Old Abes just 2.5 minutes away from closing out this one with a victory in the sectional semifinal. Gunderson can't maintain control there. It'll go to the Raiders. Tillman with a strong boot over to the center of the field. That one up for grabs, swooping in and trying to get it away from Salama. A joint effort from the Old Abes, able to wrench it free. Another high pass. Bernicke sprinting for it on the near side as the Raiders try to get a cross off. Going in for the shot, and Schroeder with another easy save. Schroeder just 90 seconds away from pitching another powerful shutout against a high-caliber opponent. And this is the sort of confidence and poise you want to see going into a deep postseason run. Now looking dangerous on the far side, trying to get a third one. Ken Hammer all over it.
One minute remaining in the match. 1 minute.
Just 1 minute left here. The Old Abe's up 2-0 on the Raiders. One will stay with the Old Abes, and now all they've got to do is stay disciplined and salt this one away. And it's a very hard thing to do, to beat a team 3 times in the same season, particularly one as tough as a team like the Raiders. Hudson giving it their all here and pitching a shutout in the first half, but the Old Abes simply wearing down their opponents as the match proceeds. Once again, so that's something you want to see out of a state championship caliber team, is their ability to endure harsh conditions and a tough defensive front. 10 seconds left, and this should just about do it, as the whistle will blow. And that will end things. The Abes dispatch the Raiders for a 3rd time in this season, and they will advance to the sectional final round at DC Everest Middle School later this week. An excellent performance from the Old Abes, 2-0 your final in regular time here in Eau Claire, Wisconsin, and an excellent showcase from all sides of the field. Another shutout pitched as the Old Abes dispatch the Raiders. And that will do it. The Old Abes, with a 15-game winning streak, have defeated every single opponent they've faced here at their new turf field. Undefeated at home this season and moving on to bigger and better things. 1 game remains between the Old Abes and State. With that, we'll sign off. Thank you very much for watching Old Abes TV, where it's always a great day to be an Old Abe. It's been a pleasure. Be sure to tune in next fall for all things Old Abes football, volleyball, gymnastics, and more. I'm Charles Strayer, and as always, go Abes.